Wow, what a game of football. A 6-goal thriller for the neutrals. But Newcastle United been so unfortunate not to get all 3 points. The Scouser in the blue top blowing the whistle right at the end. What a talking point that is, mainly here for the last word.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport, powered by fans.
Yes, welcome back to St James's Park. What a game of football. It's finished Newcastle United 3, Liverpool 3. We've just about got our breath back, haven't we?
How we got to dissect all them goals?
Good.
I'll try and help you.
That's good. That makes me feel a little bit better about myself. But make sure you like and subscribe to Newcastle Fans TV. We'll get loads of comments, get loads of interaction in as well. And you can listen to an audio version on this on NFTV Extra as well. We are part of the TalkSport network as well. But let's get into it. Just one change, Lee. Jacob Murphy in, Joe Willock out. I don't disagree with Joe Willock coming out the team. I wasn't too sure on Jacob Murphy coming in though, but it was good to see Joe Litton back more central. I think we've used that experiment. It's worked a couple of times, hasn't worked in others, but it's good to see Joe Litton back in his more preferred position.
And Tonali in central midfield, if that makes sense. A little bit disappointing not to see Trippier, because I would have liked to see Trippier start. I've been calling from
illness for Trippier.
Aye, because he got 10 assists last season. This team before tonight was lacking massive creativity, and I think just from that side would have helped Murphy, but I mean, it's a broken record. We can talk about how many times whoever's playing there, whether it's Almiron, whether it's Murphy, it's Joe Litton, Gordon, Barnes. I think even Livramento had a spell early on the season for 20 minutes when Trippier was right back. I'm not going to go on about it too much. It needs strengthened. We know that. But one change, I was alright with it.
Yeah, it was interesting to see how Newcastle would cope at Wolf Flags with a display in the East Stand. Get into them. Let's get into them, and we certainly did from minute 1 to minute 95 in a touch, which I'm sure we'll talk about right at the very end. But Newcastle started really, really well. Big opportunities early doors, testing Kevin Kelleher in Liverpool's net. Bruno, it was Tonali actually on the edge of the box, twisting and turning, shot, testing Kelleher early doors, and we won the toss as well. I must add, we won the toss. You can, if you've watched it, flips it. And you can see that the referee's pointing, and he's kind of always gone, stay here.
We all cheered for it. It was mad how Bruno won a toss, and we were all like, yeah, we're celebrating.
Was that, and it's all serious, I know that's going to sound so stupid, but there's that moment just before the ball, before we even kicked off, just galvanised the team, and then Tonali has that chance in the first minute.
I think the records will tell you it's kicking more to the Gallagher second half. We've won more games than not, so it's more of a psychology thing, isn't it? But he's won it for the first time this season, which is just, it's mad. I think it's
beginning of December.
And that's the 4th or 5th of December, and we've just first won with, and Fabian Schar won it. And I think did Dan Burn in the cup? Was Dan Burn captain that nice? Yeah. But yeah, Bruno, we won it in a psychology, kicking towards Gallagher, and look, it paid off right at the end, didn't it?
Yeah, it certainly did. Look, after Tonali's chance, Liverpool did get a little bit of joy. McAllister with a drilled shot, which was well saved by Nick Pope, and then Liverpool did hit the post, another shot on the edge of the box. And that was kind of the warning signs, but Newcastle dealt with it pretty well defensively for most of the night. I know they conceded 3 goals, and that's going to sound so stupid. But defensively, I thought we were all right in patches. But in terms of Newcastle chances, Jacob Murphy having a real big chance. Lovely ball from Alexander. It was absolutely superb for Newcastle tonight. And Murphy does everything right. Takes a touch out on his right foot, his stronger right foot, drilling it towards the other side, just wide. That was a big moment early on.
I think, do you know what it is? We've been crying out for creativity. And tonight, why do we turn up against the big boys? I threw this at you before. We played 5 of the greedy 6. Chelsea in the cup, and the other 4. The only team we haven't played is Man U. Not one of them's beat we here. We kind of just turn up for the big boys. We've got to beat the likes of your Palaces away and back here, whoever we play at St James's Park. But yeah, it was really bright. Yeah, I agree with Isak. Probably Isak's best game of the season. The creativity and the trouble that him and Gordon were linking up as well were absolutely fantastic. But I'm not going to put a finger at Murphy at that. I think it's a hard chance. It's hit him, and he's hit the first time. It's a good chance, just wide. So yeah, but it was just good to see Johnny having shots at the edge of the box instead of this tiki-taka round. Do you know what it reminded me of? This Arsenal. Do you know what Arsenal, the Invincibles, 1-2s and all that? Have a hit, have a pop, and it was great to see that we're actually having shots.
It was almost an old-fashioned game of football. We'll attack, you attack, almost if you want to say the entertainers, dare we say that. But you know, Newcastle.
There's no Collymore closing in.
I was hoping it was going to be Isak closing in or Wilson closing in, Fabian Schar closing in. Who knows? But Newcastle did take the lead. Bruno gets the ball in the middle of the park, plays it to Isak, who's onside, takes a touch away from Van Dijk, and it's an absolute bullet. I've not seen the goals in the second half of the game, but the first half, I've seen Isak's goal. It's an absolute bullet, no chance for Kelleher. Newcastle go 1-0 up, and I think on the balance, just about deserved to be 1-0 up at that moment in time.
It was some hit, wasn't it? I can't really question the goal. I think it's the speed of the shot, the power of it. It beats the goalkeeper, and obviously Kelleher has been talked about as he shouldn't be in number 2, and Liverpool, if they sold Alisson, they've got a ready-made replacement, but no chances of saving that. It's a great start, and we needed a start. We needed something just to pick up. We were talking before the game that even a draw tonight would be a positive. Not he hasn't turned the corner anyhow, which I know we'll talk about later, but it was just good to get off that mark of 1-0.
Yeah, it was a great finish, absolute fantastic finish. And Newcastle had a big chance from Anthony Gordon to make it 2, and this is a really... He has to score. Joe Gomez, I thought, was shaky most of the night, just like most of Liverpool's defence. Back pass towards the goalkeeper, too short. Gordon in on goal, bit like De Bruyne for Manchester City against Liverpool on Sunday, saved by Kelleher. But this is the interesting point. As Virgil van Dijk deliberately elbowed, shouldered Anthony Gordon in the face, has he left one on him? Or is it purely accidental, in inverted commas?
I haven't seen it back, have I? So I haven't seen that back, but they were being smart. Van Dijk's like that. He's smart, he's crafty. He was doing that second half as well, arguing with the referee, claiming for penalties and what have you. So I think that's experience. I haven't seen the incident back. I might go back and home the neat and think, actually, that was disgraceful. Yeah. But surely VAR's looked at it, surely.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't. I think, look, I know I'm not going to back the referee with the decision at the end, and I'll go into that. I'll defend him on this one because he cannot see that. He cannot see that. Linesman would have to have eagle-eyed vision to see that. But VAR should have no excuse to see that what Van Dijk's done. I've only seen a brief glimpse of it once. I think it's deliberate. Let us know in the comments what you think. I'm sure there'll be a few people saying yes, it was deliberate, and a few people saying no, it wasn't, and it should just play on. But it was still a big talking point. 1-0 at half-time, you're thinking absolutely brilliant. More of the same. Keep it going. Keep this passion, momentum, energy. Just keep everything.
More energy.
We say that every week now, don't we?
I know, because you keep saying it. I think what was important for me at half-time,
it was the momentum.
Do not let the tempo drop.
Yeah.
Don't let it drop. Don't sit in, because Liverpool will just pick you. They're going to win the league, let's face it. They're a team that can score goals for fun. And
certainly the favourites.
Well, they're not going to... they're kind of below that. Having said that, we blew it in 95, 96. But Liverpool just got attacking options left, right and centre, and it's a case of don't sit back. Please don't sit back, because you just got to invite it on, and that's all they want, is to go out. I know naturally as the game develops, you think, right, you've got a lead, you're going to sit back, but not too much.
In the second half of the last, we're going to talk more about individual players, because we've got so many goals to get through. We'll be here till midnight, and it's going to be such a long last word. I'm sure mainly would actually prefer to do that, but we have to get back. Curtis Jones, who I actually thought was one of Liverpool's stronger players. I thought he held his own at times. Gets on the end of a really soft goal in the second half. I thought Liverpool were just...
Give it away?
Yeah, I thought Liverpool slowly but surely were just kind of building up a little bit in the second half. I think it was 7 or 8 minutes in, they did make it 1-1, and it's a pullback on the right-hand side. I think it's Mo Salah. I haven't seen... Again, it's so much to remember. But Curtis Jones, edge of the box, no chance for Nick Pope, doesn't see it, and it's 1-1, and you're thinking, that's a shame. 7 minutes in, we need to kind of keep the foot on the accelerator.
About momentum before. They got a goal back so early, and then that stage generally thought, here we're going to sit back and play for a draw here, because they've got the equaliser. We'll give the ball away. I think, was it Hall, or I can't remember.
I think it might have been Lewis Hall. I can't remember. I know who gave the ball away for the second goal.
Yeah, it was Lewis Hall, and it's just sloppy from midfield, and Salah's free and squares it. It's a good hit. You have to say it's a good goal.
Yeah, it's a great finish.
You're worried in case, right, they're going to come back here.
Yeah, look, I think you were thinking, right, look, got to recover well. And it's about the attitude at this point. You're going, we've played so well for 50 odd minutes, and they've scored, it's 1-1. You're thinking, are they just going to just fold to Newcastle United? They certainly did not. And you've got to give credit to Alexander Isak and Anthony Gordon. We'll touch on the partnership with them in the second half of the last word. But Isak driving after a pass from Bruno, and it's just about getting the pass right, and he got it absolutely bang on. Gordon twists and turns Kwanzaa Gomez and puts it in the bottom corner, kind of almost goes through Kelleher. 2-1, game on. Newcastle United back in the lead, and from feeling sorry for ourselves at 1-1, we're back ahead.
Anthony Gordon, he's a Liverpool fan. He would have absolutely loved it. I think he milked it and enjoyed it in the corner. I thought Kwanzaa was really bad tonight. He
shit himself at one point, because there was a ball that Kelleher played, and you could tell Gordon was coming. He just kicked it out of play.
Yeah. When he was pressing, I think he was absolutely shocking tonight. And that's not just his Instagram antics. That's his football pitch antics. 2-1, great for Anthony Gordon, running at the corner flag, milking it in. Liverpool fan, you would have enjoyed that. But then again, the same thing don't sit back then. Just, yes, I know you've got to come back a little bit if you're 2-1 up, because the game's ticking down, but not too much. And I was looking at Eddie thinking, when's the subs coming, when are they coming?
Well, he did make one. Harvey Barnes came on for Jacob Murphy, had a chance to make it 3-1. I think it was 3-1 maybe, or 3-2. I think maybe 3-1. He lifts it over after a fantastic ball from Gordon, lifts it over just wide. I was right behind it at the Gallagher, and I knew pretty early, unfortunately, it wasn't going in. Isak puts the ball in the back of the net, almost carbon copy of the West Ham one way. He gets the ball from Lewis Hall. He doesn't time his run to perfection, unfortunately. But that was disallowed, and still 2-1. Can Newcastle hold on? Trent Alexander-Arnold comes on, does get booked. Could have been sent off. Could have been sent off last year, if I'm being honest. But look, he was on a booking after Gordon, done him as well. But you've got to give credit where credit's due. It's a fantastic assist, and Mo Salah. You can't give Mo Salah space in the box, and he makes it 2-2. Desmond.
It is. It's a good finish, and he's world class. He's probably going to go down as the best African player of all time, in my opinion. I think once he's retired, and he's a long way off Ian Rush's goal scoring record, but if he stays at Liverpool,
you could argue he's the best ever Premier League player Liverpool have had.
Possibly, yes. I think he's the best African of all time in my generation, anyway, since '95. So George Weah might win him close, but look, I'm not get back on topic in hand. It's a good finish and. Take a point. Do you know what? If you said take a point now, Lee, I'll take it.
I didn't at 2-2.
I thought no, let's take a point because you're inviting pressure, and I thought no, get the point. 2-2, go home.
At 2-2, I was thinking I was still something there for Newcastle. I really did. And look, at 2-2, Liverpool obviously have already made 3 changes. We're kind of sticking with what we've got. But I have to say, the third goal from Liverpool, it was fantastic football. It really, really was. They were putting the pressure on. They were claiming.
When did we give the ball away? Was that second?
Joe Linton gave the ball away for the second goal, which was really poor. He had an excellent game. I thought he was outstanding. But the third goal, it was just fantastic football. And a little dummy towards the back post, and Trent Alexander lays it on a plate, and Mo Salah once again makes it 3-2. And you're thinking, at that point, I'll tell you exactly what I was thinking. I don't know if it was the same thing that you were thinking. We've played so well. Liverpool have got away with it, and the 3-2 up. I know that you could argue that's a sign of champions, but so deflating.
I thought of that. Do you know what I honestly thought? I thought, how am I going to come out and speak on video? Because there's going to be people like Eddie Howe out. Yes, I get that'll be few of them. But I was thinking, do you know what? If a player like that and we got beat 3-2 at that stage, I was thinking
I would have still clapped them off 100%.
Do you know what? That's all you ask for is play for the badge, play for passion, play for the badge, play for your city, play for your fans. And they did tonight. Even if we got beat 3-2, it's Mo Salah. I mean, I was just talking about before. He's absolutely world class. I mean, Liverpool need to tie him down on the contract if they're going to be successful, because I think you can replace Van Dijk with another world class centre back. I don't think you can replace goals. Goals come to luxury. So if Liverpool lose him, they won't be. I don't think they'll be challenging next season.
It'll be interesting what happens to all those 3 individuals. But from a Newcastle point of view, Wilson comes on, Longstaff comes on, Willett comes on, just to get a bit more emphasis back into the game.
Because we weren't pressing as much, Johnny. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
We're not inviting them on, but it was more like we're not high pressing more. It stopped, and it was like you need fresh bodies. And I wanted it earlier.
Yeah, possibly you could argue that, but we were playing so well at the 11. Look, Eddie Howe makes these big decisions, and I'm sure he'll be running it through his head tonight, tomorrow and Friday before we play Brentford on Saturday. But substitutions are made. Harvey Barnes did come in a little bit earlier than the other 3 that we've mentioned, wins a free kick. And Lewis Hall was on his way to taking it, but Bruno's saying, no, get out of the way, I'm taking it. We need something a little bit different. And it's a good cross, and I'm saying good cross in the air. Kelleher has done this a few times to Liverpool. He thinks it's going too far, and he left it for a throw-in. And that 1 out of 100 times is Fabian Schar at the back post, and it hits off the post and goes in the far post and goes in, and it's 3-3. And I think on the basis of the game that Newcastle deserves at least a point, and getting it 3-3. And look, Newcastle wanted to win it. I thought they might have milked the celebration a little bit in the 89th minute, but they didn't. They wanted another one, but a great finish in terms of the circumstances.
Yeah, I don't think Fabian Schar means that, mate. But we'll take it. I think he's just trying to side foot it back across the goal. And Kelleher's a world-class goalkeeper, even now. Number 2, I think he's right up there.
Massive error, though.
It's a huge error from your goalkeeper. I think Nick Pope did one. We got away with it early on in the game. But I think it's a cross shot. We're a little bit lucky, fortunate, but you know what? You would deserve the amount of times, that amount of effort. I haven't seen the stats back, how many shots for, but I can guarantee you it's more than fucking Palace away. Put it that way. Yeah. Good to get equalised. And I just didn't want Liverpool singing Walk Alone, because I was just, no, don't sing that at St James Park. And they didn't. 5 minutes of injury time. Liverpool claiming for a penalty. 2 penalties actually that Luis Diaz. I think there is a pull of the shirt
before he gets into the box, but he wants to try and get the goal, wants to try and do something, and kind of half goes down. I don't think that's a penalty. You could argue maybe it's a foul outside the box, but I don't care that moment. I know. And then Liverpool think they've got a penalty. Thinks it hits off an arm from a shot on the edge of the box. I've got my heart and me mouthing, and please don't give anything. And it gives the corner, but Newcastle get on to the other end, and it's a free kick on the edge of the box. You've got Fabian Schar, Lewis Hall, Alexander Isak. I wanted Isak on the free kick.
I wanted Fabian Schar.
Did you?
I thought he's on a high after scoring. I think give it to him.
I'm arguing probably it's better for a left footer, but as well. So look, you've got three fantastic hands. It just goes over the crossbar for Isak, and then the last bit of contention. So much to talk about in this game. Liverpool on the attack. Curtis Jones plays the pass a bit too far. Nick Pope gets the ball, throws it out, 2-on-2 or 3-on-2 for Newcastle, but he's blown for full time. Interesting. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, Nick Pope gets booked after that because he wasn't very happy with it. What if? It's if, buts and maybes. We might have had a one-on-one. We might have had a shot off. We'll never know. Yeah, I think it's one of them. Do you know when
would that have happened the other end? Would that happen at the Kop end?
I don't know. I mean, if it happens against, we're loving it, aren't we? So it can go both ways. We're on the other side of it, but it's a bit like when a corner's blown. If the referee then blows when the corner's taken, it's like, oh, I had a minute, but technically the referee is allowed to do that.
I know.
It's like
he'll argue that was time up, and that's time up. But you look at where Newcastle were, 3-on-2, 2-on-2, whatever it was at the Gallagher. One moment it would rotate, and Isak was a right handful today, a right handful. But it did finish Newcastle United 3, Liverpool 3. I don't know how you try and analyse that particular game of football.
Pun there. Was that a pun? Unintentional pun.
Unintentional. But Eddie Howe, how on earth do you start with a game like that?
Yeah, end to end. Two really good teams. I thought really fighting out in the right way, really competitive for the 3 points, and we gave everything in both halves to try and win. So mixed emotions really, because I think we're disappointed that we got caught having led the game, but then pleased to come back as well and make sure we didn't lose. I think that was the biggest positive to take from the game today, the fact that our attacking play, our players first of all individually I thought played really, really well. But then because of that, then the cohesive nature of our attacking patterns and play was really good. So no, I'm delighted. I think you need that belief in your attacking players that you're going to create, or you have a chance to create, to ultimately play well and have the belief going into the game that you've got a chance of winning. So I think there's big positives in that respect. Tonight I thought it was a good time to bring Jacob back in. He's had a couple of little injuries, then he's come back and had to be patient and wait for a starting spot, but took his chance tonight. I thought right from the start he's had a couple of shots, he's looked threatening, he's put some good balls in the box. I think Jacob's always one of those players who's a really good supplier of chances. He's an excellent crosser of a ball, he's an excellent dribbler of a ball, and he's had a big chance again from running in behind. He's got pace, so I thought he complemented the team.
And 3-3. Thank you very much, Eddie Howe. I don't know how he's kind of summarised that. I don't think I can. I don't think I can straight away. Before we talk about the Premier League table, let's talk about individual players. I want to talk about Alexander Isak. Great finish at 1-0. Assist for 2-1. Arguably could have had another. He was an absolute menace all night. Wasn't afraid to take on Van Dijk. Wasn't afraid to take on any of that Liverpool defence. Nothing scared him. It's probably his best performance in a black and white shirt this season. Yeah,
it's what's a 5 and 6 now, is it? So he's on a good run of form. Got to keep him fit. Same as Wilson as well. I think he's, I wouldn't say equally as important, but just behind that. His link up with Gordon today, and it's funny, isn't it? You play your players in your best positions, and who knew? I thought Tonali was decent as well, but Isak was absolutely sensational. Creator, dropping the ball, going left, going in that kind of hovering the number 10, picking the ball up, wants to turn. Whereas Wilson's obviously a totally different player. He wants to be fed in the box, but it's optioned, and I think look, Gordon on the left, it works.
He's the goal. Andy Cole was player of the season last year for Newcastle.
It works just playing, and now we've got a problem on that right hand side. I get it, and it needs strengthened in January. But everyone else was in their normal positions. They need even Tonali, and it just worked. We look better, we look more fluid, we had more shots. And yes, we've conceded 3, but Newcastle's defence generally this season has been absolutely fine. It's going forward where the issues lie. We've scored 3 against Liverpool, but for me, Johnny, it's the consistency now. We can't go to Brentford and have 3 shots or 2 shots. We've now got to kick on and have double-figure shots, because law of averages, you'll score more goals. We cannot play up against the big sides and get results and then play away at Brentford, which we do have a good record against, and not turn up.
That's exactly the point I was going to make today. You've mentioned it before. We cannot play like we did tonight and not play like we did again on Saturday, or against Leicester, or against Brentford in the Cup, or against Aston Villa. We have got to have that same emphasis. We're playing one game a week most weeks, apart from the odd FA Cup game or the odd, Carabao Cup game. We have got to keep this momentum going, because this will get us into European spots. We have got a good squad, but I think the biggest thing. Oh, he's back. He was here last year against Fulham. Come on. Come on, you're going to have to go pretty close. All the way to close.
Come up real close. And we're the lads. Joe Linton had a cracking game. Everybody had a cracking game. We love the football at Newcastle. And stuff Liverpool, top of the bloody league, get stuffed. Did you enjoy it, lads?
It was a great game for the neutral, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just think we could have won it at the end.
We should have done. We should have won it. Why do we get referees like this? It doesn't matter what colour shirt the referee wears, but it's always against Newcastle.
Should have had David Coote.
Well, maybe so. Anyways, well, happy Christmas. Happy Christmas to all the Toon lads.
All the best.
For people from last year, after the Fulham game, which was the last game before Christmas, that gentleman came back on. So Merry Christmas to him.
We'll see him next year.
Yeah, see him next year again, so whoever that may be.
Consistency.
Yes, consistency. I'll tell you what was consistent, Sandro Tonali being in the centre. You saw him at Crystal Palace in the centre. That has to stay that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think not build the team around him. That's not the expression I'm going to use, but to get the better look. I said it before. Players playing the position so new. Yes, I get an injury. You might have to shuffle one or two, but this tinkering around this right midfield. Look, the rest of the 10 are in their normal positions. They're playing well tonight. Keep it that way. And we'll always debate the right winger at Almiron or Barnes or whoever, but in general, Tonali I thought he was good. Put his foot in, won a few tackles.
I thought he was outstanding. I have to be honest.
But he looked like if you didn't see this game the night, and you didn't know which team were in each position, you would not think that Newcastle are mid-table, and you would not think that Liverpool are top of the league. That shows you how well all the lads did tonight. And as I say, I'll go back to his consistency, because I think Eddie Howe still has a very, very big December, because I don't think he's out the woods yet.
You've got to keep it going. You've got to. I'll tell you what takes pressure away. Positive results and wins. I
think the night helps. Don't get me wrong, because we all expect I said 3-0 Liverpool. I didn't expect to score the night. I thought, we're going to get absolutely battered. And then after that, get that game out of the way. But then he's got to get results. I still think he needs results, because if we go out the cup against Brentford, yes, you've got the FA Cup, but that's harder to win. If we've got Villa, I know they're hit and miss at the minute. We've got Brentford, which we should be winning. But if results don't go our way, Johnny, and we're still hovering around 12th, 11th, come New Year, it's going to mount the pressure.
You've talked about...
He deserves to be backed in January.
He has to be.
But to be the devil's advocate, sorry. I'm not saying because I don't want this, but if Newcastle want to make a change, the best time to do it is in December, in the end of December, so the new manager comes in, has 4 or 5 weeks to work with the players, and then they can buy his own player. But I didn't want that. But it's a big month for Eddie Howe.
I think it's a big month. I wouldn't go as drastic as saying, look, Newcastle need to bring in a new manager. I don't
want that. But there's people in our comments who are saying that.
I think they just think it's the popular thing to get a new manager in. You've got look. This is another challenge for Eddie Howe. He has to be backed in January, and he'll argue that he wasn't backed enough. What I will say, there's an interview coming out with Simon Jordan and Eddie Howe. I don't disagree with Eddie Howe doing interviews. I don't think that interview with Simon Jordan is necessary at this moment of the season. So I don't know who signed that off, but I would argue that should never be happening, because you know what he's like.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's coming out tomorrow, but I'd argue some of the questions like should a Premier League club be owned by a nation state is something that I don't think Newcastle United should be having anything to do with Simon Jordan. I'll agree with some of the things that Simon Jordan says, but he is controversial for a reason. You don't need to be putting that pressure on him at this moment in time. Very surprised. Let's look at the Premier League table. This is your Premier League table. Newcastle are just about in the top half, 10th in the Premier League. In terms of the results, Manchester City have won a game of football. Who would have known that could have happened? Chelsea battered Southampton. They're a bit far away from us now. I think they're 5 points clear of us now. Arsenal have beaten Manchester United, beating Manchester United by 2-0, and Aston Villa have beaten Brentford 3-1 as we record. Brentford next in terms of the next fixture, Brentford coming off a defeat by the sound of it, 3-1 with a couple of minutes to go. They've got a fantastic home record. They're one of 3 teams that haven't lost at home this season.
But we've got a great record down there.
Do you think it's another game that you can kind of go, do you know what? It might be very similar. I can't expect this one to be 0-0
It's
on
the
Saturday.
Brian Wemo derby, isn't it? Because obviously we're very much like them, don't we? And obviously Semenyo's been linked as well, hasn't he, the last week. Check my video on the right wingers. Funny enough, those who were mentioned. We've got a great record, and I think we'll have a few bevies and that, because
Well, me and you both be at Brentford early doors.
early morning, and I'm not driving back home as well with the Sullys as well. I had a couple of pints with them doing Palace as well, so I can have a couple of beers doing there, which is good. So stay tuned for that. But going back to that, I think it's not a must-win, but I think you need to start getting results. Cause
I think it is a must-win.
Because the top 4, I know 5th might get you the Champions League, but the
It
top
will
4
this year.
now slowly starting. Chelsea starting, Man City won the night, Arsenal have won. We've got to start winning some games. I'm not saying Champions League, but I think Europe is, and I'll say this again, and I'll love Eddie Howe, but if he doesn't get Europe, he's getting sacked at the end of the season.
Interesting. I think Brentford isn't.
If we finish
I have to be honest. I think it's very, very difficult, and I only say that because I think the only reason why I would say it'd be very, very difficult. He'll argue for the first half of the season he wasn't backed in terms of the window, but I'd argue you've still got some outstanding players, and you're playing 1 game a week. But at this moment in time, let's see where we finish at the end of the season. But yeah, Brentford on Saturday is going to be huge. Finally, man of the match today.
Isak for me.
Tonali, honourable mention. Anthony Gordon, honourable mention. Absolute rash. But I agree, Alexander Isak, absolute world class. And when he plays like that, which he has done for the last few weeks in terms of getting 5 and 6, he is. You can say 100 million, you can say 110 million, you can say whatever you like. It's going to cost a lot of money to get him out of Newcastle United, and it's a good thing he's still got 3.5 years left on his contract. But yeah, what a night!
Give us 5 stars if you listen on the audio, and do keep an eye out the vlog on Extra, which is the voiceover of all the goals. You like that over on NFTV Extra?
Yes, 2.5 days from now we'll be at Brentford, and we have to talk about Newcastle again. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to enjoy doing so after tonight's performance. Make sure you like and subscribe to Newcastle Fans TV, and me and Lee will be at Brentford on Saturday.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.